Momentum's building. Can you feel it in the air? 2024 is coming, and the people know it's fair.
We gave Joe a chance, but his time is at an end. It's time to put a real leader back in charge again. Trump, he's gonna win it. No way that we're gonna let Joe Biden spin it. The country's a mess, that much is clear. The only solution is to get Trump back here.
The economy's dying, inflation's too high. We need someone to fight for the little guy. Trump's the man with the proven track record. Joe says a lot, but his results are checkers.
Sea to shine, see, the MAGA crowd will rise. We'll head to the polls, look Joe in the eyes,
and say your days in office are about to expire.
It's time for Trump to take us back to prosperity higher. Trump to take us back to prosperity higher. Trump, make back the Senate too, and put old Joe back out to pasture as his term is through. Trump 2024, the choice could not be clearer. With Trump back in charge, a brighter future is nearer. Trump, he's gonna win it. No way that we're gonna let Joe Biden spin it.
Get ready for an electoral landslide.
As the Trump train rolls in with patriots on each side, we'll take back the House, we'll take back the Senate too, and put old Joe back out to pasture as his term is through. Trump 2024, the choice could not be clearer. With Trump back in charge, a brighter future is nearer. Trump, he's gonna win it. No way that we're gonna let Joe Biden spin it. Get ready for an electoral landslide. As the Trump train rolls in with patriots on each side, we'll take back the House, we'll take back the Senate too, and put old Joe back out to pasture as his term is through. Trump 2024, the choice could not be clearer. With Trump back in charge, a brighter future is nearer.
Good evening, I'm Angie, and you're watching N3 Primetime. We've got a lineup tonight that's going to keep you on the edge of your seat. First up, Gary will take us inside the courtroom where former President Donald Trump has just dropped a bombshell declaration right before his historic trial. You won't believe what he said, and wait till you hear about the judge and the DA involved. Then, can a Humpty Dumpty by any other name win a school board seat? We've got the hilarious clip where Brian Stelter squirms under conservative fire and attempts a political transformation that's raising eyebrows across New Jersey. Also, Trump isn't sitting quietly in another trial. He's shaking up the legal world by asking to join sidebar conversations. We'll dive deep into what this means for his case and his future. And if you think the courtrooms are wild, wait till you see what happened at a Houston IRS office. A taxpayer brawl shuts it down right before the tax deadline. Gary's got the full scoop on what went down. Senator Rand Paul is not holding back either, accusing House Speaker Mike Johnson of acting like a Democrat. The sparks flew in an interview you just have to see. And don't go anywhere, because later in the show we'll dive into your comments in the comments section segment and spotlight a controversial figure in Looking at You. It's all coming up, so stay tuned, because N3 Primetime starts now.
Good evening, America. I'm Gary Franchi, and this is N3 Primetime. Tonight, we delve into a series of stories that reflect the urgent struggles and pivotal moments shaping our nation. First, we're inside the courtroom with Donald Trump as he faces what could be the most historic trial in American history. It's not just about legal proceedings, it's a barometer of our justice system's integrity amidst accusations of political persecution. Next, we turn to an unexpected battlefield, the school board elections in New Jersey, where a former CNN anchor, Brian Stelter, is trying to reinvent himself. It's a microcosm of the broader cultural war over who gets to influence our children's education, and a haunting video that just won't go away. And then we have Trump once more, this time making unprecedented legal requests in his high-stakes trial. This action is not just about defending himself. They are challenges to the prosecutorial powers that could be. Now in Houston, a taxpayer brawl at the IRS office days before the filing deadline is more than just news. It is a snapshot of American frustration boiling over under bureaucratic inefficiency. And in Washington, Senator Rand Paul, well, he isn't just throwing punches at the House Speaker Mike Johnson. He's shining a spotlight on a rift within the Republican Party that could redefine its future. And later in the show, we have an enlightening conversation. I want you to join us with Dr. Bruce Fong, who reveals how modern men can combat the troubling decline in testosterone levels with innovative solutions that promise more than just improved health, but a reclaiming of vitality and vigor. So why do these stories matter? Well, they're not just isolated incidents. They're chapters of a larger narrative about power, justice, and American identity, as fraught and contested as it's ever been. And speaking of contests and narrative, think of our network as the town hall of old, where everyone knew your name and your story mattered. Well, just like in those town halls, our survival depends on the collective support of the community, yours. We're more than just a channel. We're a gathering place for those who cherish truth and freedom. But now we face our own trials, our own need for a rallying cry, much like the stories that we bring you. We need your support to continue being that beacon of truth, so think of it as keeping the lights on in our town hall, ensuring that the stories that shape our nation don't go untold. Whether through a financial contribution at the action links below, a prayer, or simply sharing our message, your involvement is absolutely crucial. Now I'll throw it back to Angie. What stories will you be covering on tonight's episode?
Tonight, I am slicing through the noise with a lineup of stories that hit close to home and far across our nation. First up, a storm brews at NPR as their new CEO, Catherine Mayer, is accused of political bias. With NPR's credibility on the line, we're asking, can Mayer really champion impartial reporting, or will her leadership sink the ship? This isn't just about one network. It's about the trust we placed in our national media. Then we're diving into the glitz and glamour with a twist. Hallmark stars Carlos and Alexa Pena-Vega, alongside Candace Cameron Bure, have made a significant leap to great American media. Their move marks a seismic shift in entertainment, reflecting a culture that demands more than just lighthearted romances. What does this mean for the future of television? Stay tuned. And is it a Hollywood romance or a clever ruse? Rumors swirl around Jewel and Kevin Costner. With both stars fresh from personal heartbreaks, we uncover what's really going on behind the scenes. Plus, an 11-year-old girl in Washington state stirs a national conversation on religious freedom, and after being denied the right to start an interfaith group at school. It's a tale of determination and discrimination that demands our attention. And finally, Valerie Bertinelli blasts the Food Network for favoring drama over culinary education. As fans rally behind her, we ask, will this uproar serve up change, or is it just another flash in the pan? All these stories matter because they reflect our changing society, our struggles with fairness, and our ongoing debate over what we value in culture and leadership. Now, let's get this night started. Over to you, Gary, for the first special report of the night.
Moments before facing the most consequential trial in American history, Donald Trump shocked the world with a defiant 5-word declaration targeting the Democrats behind his persecution. In this exclusive report, I will take you inside the courtroom drama as jury selection begins in this unprecedented case against a former president. But that's not all. We'll expose the shocking conflicts of interest that call into question the very integrity of these proceedings under a far-left judge and a Soros-funded DA. As Trump proudly takes his seat, flanked by his powerhouse legal team, 500 potential jurors from the hostile anti-Trump stronghold of Manhattan await questioning. The stakes couldn't be higher for the very future of our republic. So you don't want to miss my final thought, where I will reveal the true meaning behind Trump's stunning words and what they portend for the battle ahead. So stay tuned. Now, folks, as we delve into this monumental trial, I do want to touch on a critical issue that's threatening our national security and our prosperity. Just as Trump faces a biased system rigged against him, America finds itself at the mercy of foreign powers like China when it comes to vital resources such as nickel. We rely entirely on imports with zero domestic production, leaving us vulnerable to supply disruptions and price manipulations. But there is hope on the horizon. Alaska Energy Metals is poised to develop the largest nickel deposit in the United States using responsible mining practices to ensure our independence. To learn more about their progress and how you can support this crucial endeavor, visit alaskaenergymetals.com after this program. Now, our story begins with a defiant declaration from President Trump himself. In a Truth Social post just hours before his trial, he accused the Democrats of election interference, stating the radical left Democrats are already cheating on the 2024 presidential election by bringing or helping to bring all of these bogus lawsuits against me. Now, the stage was set for a showdown as President Trump arrived at the Manhattan courthouse just after 9 a.m., traveling from Trump Tower. Let's take a look at that moment. Now you can see here is the motorcade of President Trump in New York City. Police presence, obviously very high, protesters out, and supporters alike for this unprecedented courtroom trial. This is a criminal case. Now, this is from the Post-Millennial on Twitter, so we thank them for that. But look at all these cars, lawyers, support vehicles, Secret Service lining the streets. Wow. It's really a sad day in America that we have to witness this. This is purely political prosecution. Now, outside the courthouse, a scene unfolded as around 200 Trump supporters clashed with roughly 40 protesters. Chants of Donald Trump did nothing wrong echoed through the streets, led by prominent conservative reporter Laura Loomer. Let's take a look at that moment.
Nothing wrong! Donald Trump did 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 nothing wrong!
He did nothing wrong indeed. Now, before stepping into the courtroom, President Trump delivered a forceful statement to the press, leaving no uncertainty about his position on this trial. Let's go to that moment now.
Are you going to lose voters if there's a conviction?
This is an assault on America. Nothing like this has ever happened before. There's never been anything like it. Every legal scholar said this case is nonsense. It should never have been brought. It doesn't deserve anything like this. There is no case, and they've said it. People that don't necessarily follow or like Donald Trump said this is an outrage that this case was brought. This is political persecution. This is a persecution like never before. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And again, it's a case that should have never been brought. It's an assault on America. And that's why I'm very proud to be here. This is an assault on our country. And it's a country that's failing. It's a country that's run by an incompetent man who's very much involved in this case. This is really an attack on a political opponent. That's all it is. So I'm very honored to be here. Thank you very much.
Do the voters believe that?
This is going to cost the White House.
Now, he asserted that the proceedings were an unprecedented attack on the nation, stating that legal experts unanimously agreed the case was baseless and should never have been pursued. Trump further denounced the trial as a politically motivated assault, targeting him as an opponent, emphasizing that he was nonetheless proud to face the charges head-on. Now, as the proceedings began, President Trump took a seat at the defense table, hands folded and flanked by his attorneys, Todd Blanche, Emil Bove, and Susan Nicheles. Now, the trial expects to last about 6 weeks, 4 days a week without Wednesdays. It could potentially take Trump off the campaign trail for a significant amount of time. Now, from the bench, Justice Juan Merchan, the presiding judge, rejected the defense's motion that he recuse himself from the case. Merchan also made several other decisions on pretrial motions denying the defense's request to add juror questions and to allow Karen McDougal, a former Playboy model who alleged an affair with Trump, to testify. However, Merchan did rule that the infamous Access Hollywood tape could not be played for the jurors. Now, Trump's legal team made requests for days off during the trial to accommodate personal events. They asked that the trial not be held on May 17th so that Trump could attend his son Barron's high school graduation, and on June 3rd so that one of his lawyers could attend his own son's graduation. Merchan stated that he was not prepared to rule on either request, but was willing to adjourn for one or both days, depending on the trial's progress. As jury selection commenced, Justice Merchan revealed that there were 500 potential jurors awaiting questioning, and the court will need to seat 12 jurors from the pool, a daunting task considering the venue. New York City boasts one of the most hostile jury pools in the nation for conservatives and Trump supporters, second only to Washington, D.C. Over 3 in 4 Manhattan residents voted for Biden over Trump in 2020, raising concerns about the fairness of drawing a jury from such an ideologically biased pool. Now, questions have also been raised about the impartiality of Judge Merchan himself. The judge's immediate family connections have led some to argue that he's incapable of presiding over a fair trial due to conflicts of interest between him, his court, and the Biden administration directly. Matthew Colangelo, a senior-level Biden appointee, was tapped by the Justice Department to work alongside the far-left District Attorney Alvin Bragg in the investigation into Michael Cohen's alleged payments to Stormy Daniels, which forms the basis of the indictment against Trump. Now, Colangelo's involvement has been seen as problematic, not only because of his direct ties to the Biden administration, but also because the case had previously been evaluated and passed over by a series of district attorneys, special counsels, government agencies, and Justice Department officials who determined that there was nothing to prosecute. Vivek Ramaswamy criticized DA Alvin Bragg's handling of the Trump case. Ramaswamy argued that the charges are baseless and politically driven, asserting that, quote, "This isn't the pursuit of justice, it's a political persecution that is tearing our country apart." Let's go to his words now.
Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg's prosecution of Donald Trump and its trial begins today. What a joke. I'm against these prosecutions on principle. I think they're destructive to our country. But let's just examine the facts and the law here. Alvin Bragg effectively is prosecuting Donald Trump for making hush money payments, allegedly, to Stormy Daniels, and then paying Michael Cohen in a means that Alvin Bragg thinks is falsifying business records. Well, first of all, falsifying business records in New York is a misdemeanor, not a felony. And it falls outside of the statute of limitations, meaning it happened so far long ago that Alvin Bragg can't bring the case unless he charges it as a felony, which requires an underlying crime that he's advancing by falsifying those business records that was also a felony. Here's where the legal stretch really begins. That requires Alvin Bragg to say that Donald Trump's payments should have been made out of a campaign account. That's his theory of the case, instead of being made personally, or else it's a constructive campaign contribution. That's bunk. Think about it. Look, you've had smart people like former FEC Commissioner Bradley Smith, who has correctly pointed out that if Donald Trump did use campaign money, campaign contributions, to pay off hush money, that would arguably be an even stronger legal case to bring against him than the case they're bringing now. So in that version of the world, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. They're going to get him going or they're going to get him coming. It's almost as though they decided this is the person we're going to prosecute, and then we're going to figure out what we're going to charge him with after the fact. Well, guess what? That's exactly what happened. You have Alvin Bragg, a Manhattan DA, who was elected on the promise of going after Donald Trump. For what crime? We had no idea. Just the idea that they had to go after Donald Trump. This is a politician keeping his campaign promise. That is a bastardization of our legal system. That's not how we do things in the United States. And that motivation accounts for why this case is so weak and emblematic of the other prosecutions that have since followed against Donald Trump. I think Trump is going to prevail, but most importantly, I hope we move beyond this phase of our history where you have one political party that thinks it can use the legal system to prosecute its opponents. The same shoe can fit the other foot, and if we keep going down this direction, we're not going to have a country left. In the complete absence of a legal argument even to bring this case against Trump isn't just embarrassing to Alvin Bragg, it's embarrassing to our country. I hope Donald Trump not only prevails in this trial, but that we prevail as a country to move beyond this phase of our national history. That's what it's going to take to reunite and rebuild this nation.
Amen. As this historic trial unfolds, Americans left to wonder whether justice can truly be served in a system that appears to be stacked against the defendant from the very beginning. The world watches as Donald Trump, former president and current frontrunner for the 2024 Republican nomination, faces an unprecedented legal battle in a courthouse located in one of the most politically hostile territories in the nation. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. Tonight we stand at a watershed moment in American history, a moment so fraught with implications that it's hard to overstate. So consider this. In an election year, no less, we're witnessing the trial of a former president. But let's be clear, this is not just any trial. It's an event that many see as a meticulously crafted assault on Donald Trump, the main rival of a floundering Joe Biden. Why now? Why him? If you're looking for a reason, you don't have to look very far. It's apparent to anyone watching without ideological blinders that this is the trial that the Democrat Party is using as their desperate bid to cling to power. They see the scoreboard. They know that they're losing. Biden's presidency? A disaster by any measure. Their last hope? To eliminate Trump, the biggest threat to their agenda, through legal means. So tonight I call on every American watching, regardless of where you stand politically, to see this for what it is. An attack, not just on a man, but on the principles of fair competition and our republic itself. So join me in praying for Donald Trump, that justice may prevail, that he may continue his quest to return to the Oval Office, not just for his sake, but for the sake of a nation that desperately needs his leadership. This is not just a trial. It's a battle for the soul of America. So let's ensure it's fought on terms that honor our national commitment to fairness and justice. Next up, NPR's new CEO, Catherine Maher, facing accusations of bias and skepticism over her defense of diversity. Will her leadership stabilize or damage NPR's credibility? Angie has the details.
Freshly seated NPR CEO Catherine Maher is in the hot seat. Senior editor Yuri Berliner accuses NPR of political bias, and Maher's rebuttal has left skeptics unconvinced. She's dodging specifics, seemingly more focused on defending workplace diversity than addressing bias allegations. But this raises another issue: Berliner's evidence of suppressed thought diversity within the ranks. Even Maher's own past social media activity hints at a personal bias, causing some to question whether the CEO can truly champion impartial reporting. As accusations pile up, public trust in NPR teeters. Will Maher's leadership help NPR rise above the fray or further damage its credibility? Don't miss Gary's new ebook, The Silent Coup, link in the bio. Up next, watch Brian Stelter squirm as conservatives mock him while he makes a surprising GOP school board run.
Brace yourselves for a story that will leave you stunned and amazed. A shocking video has resurfaced exposing CNN's Brian Stelter as he is triggered by conservatives who dub him Humpty Dumpty and Mr. Potato Head. You won't believe your eyes as Stelter squirms, trying to explain the bizarre potato parcels sent to his doorstep. But that's not all. Watch as Fox News Sean Hannity roast Stelter in a brutal takedown that will leave you speechless. And just when you thought it couldn't get any stranger, we uncover Stelter's betrayal as he runs for a GOP school board seat in New Jersey. Can he convince voters he's shed his liberal past, or will this humiliating video haunt his campaign? Don't go anywhere, because you don't want to miss a single moment of this incredible story, and stay tuned for my final thought, where I will reveal the shocking truth behind Stelter's fall from grace. And just like Brian Stelter is trying to shed his Humpty Dumpty and Mr. Potato Head image, many of us are looking ways to boost our strength and resilience in the face of life's challenges. That's where testosterone from Black Forest Supplements comes in. This natural supplement, known as nature's steroid, can help you increase your testosterone and enhance your recovery without the negative side effects of traditional steroids. And just like Stelter facing pushback from his critics, testosterone is facing potential restrictions from the FDA and WADA. But you can stock up now with Black Forest Supplements' special promotion. Buy 2 bottles, get 1 free. Visit blackforestsupplements.com/news today. You'll find the link down below to take control of your health and rise above the challenges, just like Stelter is trying to do in his surprising Republican run. Now, in a surprising turn of events, a video has resurfaced exposing CNN's former anchor, Brian Stelter, as he faces a barrage of mockery from conservatives. The once prominent journalist, now relegated to a post-CNN life, finds himself grappling with the humiliating monikers of Humpty Dumpty and Mr. Potato Head. As Stelter attempts to navigate this new reality, the video reveals the depth of his triggering and the bizarre aftermath of his fall from grace. Watch.
It's not just about the characters who are in, it's also about the villains that the cinematic universe creates. I like to think that I'm a bit character in that universe. I once had a potato mailed to me. It came in a FedEx box. It was an actual potato. And I showed it to my kids. And of course, my kids are young. They have no idea why someone's mailing me a potato. It's because that within the Fox universe, I used to be called Humpty Dumpty. And from there, it became Brian's a potato. And so when I get random tweets from people calling me Spud, I know that, as you just said, they're in that in-group. It is their way of communicating to each other that they are in on the, I guess in this case, it's a joke, but it's also an insult, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it is. Certainly a joke and an insult. Now, the resurfaced footage you saw shows him visibly flustered, recounting the strange parcels that he's received from his critics, potatoes and Humpty Dumpty toys sent as a mocking tribute to his time at CNN. Will they become a surreal addition to his post-journalism life? The absurdity of the situation is only highlighted by Stelter's need to explain these unsolicited deliveries to his bewildered children. One can only imagine the awkwardness of the conversation as Stelter tries to rationalize why his detractors have chosen to express their disdain through such unconventional means. But the humiliation doesn't end there. The video also highlights Stelter's struggle to comprehend the reasons behind his newfound nicknames. Yes, he knows why they call him that. He just needs to be honest with himself, right? He's a reliable source after all. How about he look in the mirror and try to be a reliable source to himself? So in a moment of vulnerability, he does admit to being perplexed by Fox News' Sean Hannity, referring to him as Humpty Dumpty. The once confident anchor now finds himself at a loss, unable to grasp the motivation behind the taunts. Now, as the story unfolds, it does become clear that Stelter's fall from grace has not gone unnoticed by his rivals in the media landscape. Conservative figures, particularly those associated with Fox News, have seized upon the opportunity to revel in Stelter's misfortune. The resurfaced video serves as a testament to the glee with which they have embraced his downfall, using it as a means to undermine the credibility of CNN and the broader liberal media establishment. Now, the mockery reaches new heights as Sean Hannity takes center stage, roasting Stelter in a blistering on-air segment with mixture of contempt and amusement. Hannity gleefully declares, "Little Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall and had a great fall and couldn't answer a question." The schoolyard-esque taunt, delivered with Hannity's signature bravado, adds insult to injury for the beleaguered Stelter. Watch.
Now, this might be my favorite not to be outdone. Make-believe journalist, full-time Fox and Hannity stalker, Humpty Dumpty referred to valid criticism of fake news CNN as a vast right-wing conspiracy. Notice that he never will answer the question that this student is rightly asking about how abusively corrupt and abusively biased fake news CNN is. Take a look.
They pushed the Russian collusion hoax. They pushed the Jussie Smollett hoax. They smeared Justice Kavanaugh as a rapist, and they also smeared Nick Sandmann as a white supremacist. And yes, they dismissed the Hunter Biden laptop affair as pure Russian disinformation. With mainstream corporate journalists becoming little more than apologists and cheerleaders for the regime, is it time to finally declare that the canon of journalistic ethics is dead or no longer operative? All the mistakes of the mainstream media, and CNN in particular, seem to magically all go in one direction. Are we expected to believe that this is all just some sort of random coincidence, or is there something else behind it?
It's too bad. It's time for lunch.
You have 30 seconds.
No, I mean,
right?
there's a clock that says 30 seconds. But I think my honest answer to you, and I'll come over and talk in more detail after this, is that I think you're describing a different channel than the one that I watch. But I understand that that is a popular right-wing narrative about CNN.
That student was 1,000% right on every issue fake news CNN got wrong. And little Humpty Dumpty, he sat on a wall and he had a great fall and he couldn't answer the question. Never forget, the Russia collusion was 3 years of conspiracy theories and lies and a hoax. What he said about Justice Kavanaugh was true, and he wasn't a rapist. Fake news CNN ended up paying high school student Nicholas Sandmann a ton of money after they viciously smeared him on their network. That's not a right-wing narrative. Humpty, that's called a fact, something you don't know anything about.
Ain't that the truth? Now, the resurfaced video and Hannity's scathing commentary paint a picture of a journalist in free fall and grasping at straws as he attempts to salvage his reputation. The once mighty Stelter, a fixture of the CNN lineup, now finds himself reduced to a punchline, a cautionary tale of the perils of partisan journalism. But perhaps the most intriguing twist in the saga is Stelter's surprising pivot to Republican politics in a move that has raised eyebrows across the political spectrum. The former CNN anchor has set his sights on a school board seat in New Jersey, running as a conservative candidate. The question now on everyone's mind is, can Stelter convince voters that he's truly one of them? Or will his past as a liberal media talking head prove to be an insurmountable obstacle? And as Stelter embarks on this new chapter, the resurfaced video serves as a haunting reminder of the baggage that he carries. The Humpty Dumpty and Mr. Potato Head monikers, once a source of amusement for his critics, now threaten to undermine his credibility as a conservative candidate. Can Stelter effectively shed his past and rebrand himself, or will the humiliating footage and nicknames continue to dog him throughout his new political journey? Well, the story of Brian Stelter's fall from grace and subsequent reinvention is a fascinating case study in the cutthroat world of media and politics. As the resurfaced video continues to circulate, it serves as a reminder of the power of mockery and the enduring impact of public humiliation. For Stelter, the road ahead is fraught with challenges as he attempts to navigate the treacherous waters of conservative politics while grappling with the ghosts of his CNN past. And only time will tell if he can successfully shed his Humpty Dumpty and Mr. Potato Head labels and convince voters of his conservative bona fides. Until then, the resurfaced video will continue to serve as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the perils of partisan journalism and the unforgiving nature of the public eye. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. It's time for my final thought. Now, the resurfaced video of Brian Stelter's triggering by conservative mockery serves as a powerful reminder of the consequences of partisan journalism. As we witness Stelter's fall from grace and his desperate attempt to reinvent himself as a Republican candidate, we're forced to confront the deep divisions that plague our media landscape. The once respected journalist, now reduced to a caricature of Humpty Dumpty and Mr. Potato Head, embodies the dangers of sacrificing objectivity for partisan gain. But beyond the perils of seeing a liberal media figure brought low, this story raises important questions about the state of our republic. When journalists become political pawns, beholden to ideological agendas rather than pursuit of truth, we all suffer. As Stelter navigates this uncertain new chapter, let us reflect on the vital role of a free and impartial press in preserving the integrity of our republic. The future of our nation depends on it. Next up, Angie has a story from about former Hallmark stars, including the Pana Vegas and Candace Cameron Bure switch to great American media with Mr. Manhattan. What is next for them, Angie?
Major entertainment shift as former Hallmark stars Carlos and Alexa Pena Vega, along with Candace Cameron Bure, jumped ship to great American media. Their first venture, Mr. Manhattan, a film about life and a single father after a tragic accident. This move signifies an audience growing more discerning in their media consumption and a shift in the industry's power dynamics. The couple announced their move on social media, bringing joy to their fans. This indicates a trend in the industry as more actors seek allegiance to networks that align with their values and audiences demand content that echoes their beliefs. So keep an eye on the great American media, folks. The future looks bright. Don't miss Gary's new ebook, The Silent Coup, link in the bio. Coming up, Donald Trump shakes up his New York trial by asking to join private legal discussions.
In an unprecedented move that has sent shockwaves through the legal world, former President Donald Trump is demanding a seat at the table during his high-stakes hush money trial in New York. As the courtroom drama unfolds, Trump is seeking to insert himself into the very heart of the proceedings, requesting to participate in sidebar conversations traditionally reserved for the judges and the attorneys. Now, this bold gambit has raised eyebrows and set the stage for a trial unlike any other in American history. With key evidence already facing scrutiny and the nation watching with bated breath, the stakes could not be higher for the embattled former president. As tensions mount and the legal battle intensifies, one question looms large. Will Trump's unorthodox strategy pay off, or will it backfire spectacularly? Stay tuned for this special report as we delve into the intricacies of this extraordinary case and explore its potential implications for the future of American politics. And trust me, you don't want to miss my final thought on this groundbreaking development. Now, folks, before we dive into this explosive trial, a quick word from our sponsor. Just like Trump is seeking to arm himself with every legal tool available, you too can arm your body against destructive elements with the amazing supplements from GetTheTea.com. Their unique variety of supplements and herbal cleansing teas are your best defense against the toxins of modern life. And with beach season right around the corner, their Apple Cider Plus is a must-try. But my personal favorite is the tea itself. I've got a monthly subscription, so I'm always stocked up and ready to face whatever comes my way. I've got a gallon in the fridge right now. So visit GetTheTea.com and use code NEXTNEWS for an extra 10% off. You won't regret it. That's GetTheTea.com. Use code NEXTNEWS, exclusive for you. Now, as the hush money trial against Donald Trump progresses in New York, in the courtroom there, the former president is making waves with an unconventional legal strategy. Trump has requested to personally participate in sidebar conversations, a move that is rarely seen from defendants in criminal trials. Let's take a look and see how CNN covered this.
We learned that Trump wants to go up to every sidebar if the judge has a one-on-one discussion with the client. That is something that defendants usually almost always waive, that their attorneys go up and the prosecution goes up, but Trump's lawyer is saying he wants to go in the one-on-ones, the close proximity with the jurors, the prospective jurors, as they are asked more intimate questions that the judge finds that they don't have to express in open court.
Wow, that's groundbreaking. Now, sidebar discussions are typically private exchanges between the judge and lawyers, often involving sensitive matters unsuitable for public airing. Traditionally, only attorneys and the judge participate directly in these conversations. Trump's request to join these discussions has highlighted the unique nature of this high-profile case. Now, the trial, which centers on allegations that Trump paid hush money to silence affairs, well, has already faced its share of setbacks for prosecutors. Judge Juan Merchan, he ruled that the controversial Access Hollywood tape in which Trump made lewd comments about women cannot be shown to jurors. However, testimony from individuals allegedly involved with Trump, including a model claiming to have had an affair with him, has been allowed. Now, as the decision to potentially allow Trump to engage in sidebar conversations remains pending, legal analysts suggest that his presence could intimidate jurors or influence their perceptions. Now, the judge is carefully considering the implications of setting such a precedent, as it could significantly affect courtroom dynamics and the overall atmosphere of the trial. Prosecutors are also pushing for penalties against Trump for allegedly violating a gag order. This adds a whole nother layer of complexity to an already heated legal battle. The trial's outcome could have significant political and legal repercussions for Trump, who faces multiple investigations and trials across the country. Another critical piece of evidence denied by the court includes a video from E. Jean Carroll's defamation case, where the former president suffered an $84 million judgment against him. Carroll maintained that Trump assaulted her decades ago, and the exclusion of this evidence further highlights the challenges that prosecutors are facing in building their case against the former president. As he prepared for the start of his first criminal trial, Trump sought to leverage his appearance in court to benefit his campaign. He released a video on Truth Social rallying his supporters and claiming the prosecution is part of a Democratic machine attempting to silence him and his followers on Election Day. See for yourself.
They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. It's very simple. They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. They want you silent. And I am the only one that can save this nation because you know they're not coming after me, they're coming after you, and I just happen to be standing in their way, and I will never be moving. On November 5th, 2024, justice will be done. We will take back our country and we will make America great again. Thank you. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you very much. Great job.
It blows my mind when I think about what they're doing to this man. It's they're so terrified of what he can do to change this country for the better. He's going after their game. He is going after the game in Washington, D.C., and they are surrounding that poker table. And they are protecting that game at all costs. He threatens that game because he's handing power back to us. Pray for this man, pray for his family, and pray for this country that we can get out of this mess. Now, in the videos, you saw Trump addressing a thunderous crowd, stating that they will try to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedoms. They will try to silence me because I will never let them silence you. They want you silent, and I'm the only one who can save this nation because you know they're not coming after me. They're coming after you. His message is clear. He believes the trial is not just about him, but about his supporters and the future of our nation. By framing the prosecution as an attack on his followers, Trump is galvanizing his base and positioning himself as their champion in the face of what he sees as a politically motivated legal assault. So as the trial unfolds, the nation watches with bated breath, wondering how Trump's unconventional new legal strategy will play out. Will his request to participate in sidebar conversations be granted? And if so, what impact will it have on the proceedings? The answers to these questions could shape the course of this historic trial and have far-reaching implications for the American political landscape. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. It's time for my final thought. As we've witnessed, Donald Trump's hush money trial is not just a legal battle, it is a fight for the very soul of our nation. The former president's bold move to participate directly in the proceedings showcases his unwavering commitment to transparency and his dedication to fighting for the rights of his supporters. And Trump understands this trial is not merely about him, but about the millions of Americans who have placed their trust in his leadership. And by standing firm in the face of what he believes to be a politically motivated prosecution, Trump is sending a powerful message. He will not be silenced. He will not allow the voices of his followers to be suppressed. In this critical moment, we must rally behind our former president and demand that justice be served not through a biased legal system, but through the will of the American people at the ballot box. Trump's courage and determination in the face of adversity serve as an inspiration to all of us, reminding us that true patriots never back down from a fight. As this trial unfolds, let us stand united behind a leader who has always put America first and trust that in the end, truth and righteousness will prevail. For it's not just the fate of one man at stake, but the very future of our great republic. Next up, Angie has a story about Jewel and Kevin Costner. Are they an item? Amid recent heartbreaks, the duo sparks romance rumors. What is the real story? Angie has all of the juicy details.
Well, is it love or just a bluff? The question is buzzing as singer, songwriter, Jewel, and actor Kevin Costner keep us on our toes. While Jewel blushes and praises Costner as a great person, rumors about a potential romance with Costner intensify. Amidst public interest, they drew attention at a charity event in December of 2023. Notably, both recently navigated their own heartbreaks. Jewel's divorce from Ty Murray in 2015, and Costner split with his wife in May of 2023. Yet Jewel isn't the only lady linked to Costner. Reese Witherspoon's name joined the chatter last November, but these whispers were shut down. While we wonder and wait, both celebs move forward, focusing on their careers, highs and lows, and the mystery of love. Don't miss Gary's new ebook, The Silent Coup, link in the bio. Chaos at Houston IRS office as taxpayers brawl, forcing early closure. Gary explores this shocking tax season meltdown next.
In a stunning turn of events, the Houston IRS office descended into utter chaos over the weekend as a taxpayer brawl forced an abrupt closure mere days before the crucial filing deadline today. Hundreds of desperate last-minute filers seeking critical assistance were left in limbo after tempers flared and fists flew among the impatient crowd. The shocking incident left Americans wondering, has the pressure of tax season pushed us to the brink? As the nation grapples with this alarming display of frustration and desperation, we must ask ourselves, what does this say about the state of our tax system and the struggles faced by everyday Americans? So stay tuned for this eye-opening special report as we delve into the heart of this astonishing event and its far-reaching implications. You don't want to miss my final thought on this taxpayer riot. Before we dive into the heart of this tax season turmoil, a word from our sponsor, Virtual Shield. Just as the IRS struggles to protect taxpayer data, your personal information is at risk every time you go online. That's where Virtual Shield comes in. With military-grade encryption, anonymous browsing, and a strict no-log policy, Virtual Shield acts as your personal riot gear against cyber criminals, data miners, and prying eyes. Don't let your sensitive information fall into the wrong hands like those unfortunate 63,000 individuals. Protect yourself with Virtual Shield on all your devices and enjoy peace of mind in these turbulent times. Visit the link down in the description. It's hidewithgary.com, or go there after the show and pick up your 67% off and your 60-day risk-free trial. Now, in the heart of Texas, the Houston IRS office became the epicenter of a shocking display of chaos and frustration. On Saturday, as the April 15th tax filing deadline loomed, the hundreds of desperate taxpayers lined up at the IRS building seeking critical assistance with their taxes. However, what began as a routine tax assistance event quickly descended into a scene of utter pandemonium. According to eyewitness accounts, tempers flared among the impatient crowd, leading to a full-blown riot that forced the IRS to abruptly shut down operations for the day. The incident left countless taxpayers in limbo as they were turned away without receiving the help they so desperately needed. Watch.
The Internal Revenue Service in Houston closed abruptly this weekend after a fight broke out. It happened during the IRS's tax assistance event on Saturday. Now, hundreds of people were lined up at the IRS building hoping to get help with their taxes. Instead, a field assistant from the IRS said they had to shut down early because of a riot that broke out.
All of a sudden, everybody went in. When they opened the door, they bum rushed and started skipping.
They shouldn't be doing it for people like this, because I see little kids out here. I see old people with canes.
In a statement, the IRS said in part, quote, delays on Saturday occurred due to overwhelming taxpayer demand for assistance, and the IRS is committed to serving those who were not able to receive help in person, end quote.
Now, the shocking video footage captures the intensity of the situation with angry taxpayers voicing their frustrations and demanding answers. I ain't doing no playing. This is the second month I came out here, and I'm not going to play with the IRS. That's what one exasperated taxpayer exclaimed. As the crowd swelled and tensions mounted, a group of individuals allegedly began fighting, prompting IRS officials to take swift action. Quote, they opened the gates like around 9 or 10 a.m. I think a couple of people started fighting. So after that, they told everyone to go home. That's according to Cottrell Johnson, a visitor at the tax center who drove 2 hours from College Station seeking assistance. The abrupt closure left many taxpayers feeling betrayed and abandoned by the very institution meant to serve them. Quote, they shouldn't be doing people like this because I seen little kids out here. I seen old people with canes, according to one individual, Johnson, highlighting the diverse range of individuals affected by the shutdown. In a statement addressing the incident, the IRS acknowledged the, quote, overwhelming taxpayer demand for assistance and pledged to serve those who were unable to receive help in person. They claimed to be collecting names and numbers when possible so an IRS representative can call them back. Good luck with that. Furthermore, they promised to take special steps to provide additional support throughout the week, including fully staffing offices and increasing phone line assistance. However, for many taxpayers, these assurances come as little comfort in the face of the deadline. The incident has exposed glaring inadequacies in the IRS ability to handle the sheer volume of taxpayers seeking assistance, particularly during the high-stress period leading up to April 15th. Now, critics argue the IRS decision to operate on a first-come, first-served basis without offering appointments contributed significantly to the chaos that unfolded in Houston. Quote, unfortunately, they did everything as a walk-in, no appointments, and that's what really caused all the problems, according to an observation by Henry Castro, who was another frustrated visitor at the IRS Center. Now, the Houston incident serves as a microcosm of the broader challenges faced by taxpayers across the nation as they navigate the increasingly complex and often overwhelming tax system. The IRS struggle to meet the needs of its constituents raises serious questions about the agency's preparedness and its ability to provide the support and resources necessary to ensure a smooth and efficient tax filing process. That is, of course, if you are obliged to file your taxes. Remember, taxation is theft. As the fallout from the Houston IRS riot continues to reverberate, it's clear that substantial reforms and improvements are needed to prevent similar incidents from occurring in the future. The IRS must take proactive steps to streamline its assistance programs, increase staffing, and implement more efficient appointment systems to better serve the needs of the taxpayers. Moreover, the incident should also serve as a wake-up call for policymakers to address the underlying issues that contribute to taxpayer frustration and anxiety. Didn't they hire like 70,000 new IRS agents? Where are they? Shouldn't they be helping these guys? Anyway, they need to simplify the tax code. Maybe just get rid of it altogether. How about that? Just throw the whole thing out. Maybe provide clearer guidance and resources. Have you ever tried to call the IRS? Have you? How long are you going to wait on hold? I think one time I waited on hold for like 3 hours. Literally 3 hours. Anyway, they need to ensure the IRS is staffed so that these people can be helped and create a more user-friendly tax system. Just throw it out the window. Anyway, if you have value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. The chaos that erupted at the Houston IRS office is a sobering reminder of the immense pressure and frustration felt by countless Americans as they navigate our complex tax system. This incident lays bare the urgent need for reform and the importance of providing adequate support to taxpayers during this critical time. That is, of course, if you voluntarily comply. It is unacceptable that hardworking citizens seeking nothing more than the assistance that they deserve should be subjected to such turmoil and uncertainty. As a nation, we must demand better from our government and the institutions that serve us, and the IRS must take swift action to address these shortcomings exposed by this riot, and our elected officials must prioritize the creation of a more user-friendly, efficient, and equitable tax system, or just throw the whole thing out altogether. Only then can we hope to restore trust and ensure that every American receives the support they need to fulfill, well, their voluntary compliance. Washington State, the school there, denying 11-year-old Laura's bid to start an interfaith group, spotlighting a religious freedom debate. Angie has more.
In Washington State, Laura, an 11-year-old, her bid was denied to establish an interfaith group at Creekside Elementary. Despite being unable to meet the funding deadline for clubs, Laura's quest raises the issue of religious freedom versus discrimination. Laura was advised to rent out school premises after hours, a feat not required of other clubs. The First Liberty Institute defending Laura maintains the school's denial contravenes the Constitution if it admits even one non-curricular club. Laura remains determined, passionately seeking the opportunity for everyone, a vital narrative about the freedom and discrimination within our schools. Don't miss Gary's new ebook, The Silent Coup, link in the bio. Coming up, Senator Rand Paul blasts House Speaker Mike Johnson for betraying conservative principles and governing like a Democrat. Full story next.
In a scathing interview that sent shockwaves through the Republican Party, Senator Rand Paul has unleashed a blistering attack on House Speaker Mike Johnson, accusing him of betraying conservative values and governing like a Democrat. What do we call those? Rhinos. That's what we call them. Right, rhinos. Now, Paul's explosive comments have exposed a deep rift within the GOP and has raised serious questions about Johnson's leadership. With infighting escalating and conservatives demanding change, the future of the Republican Party hangs in the balance. And in this special report, we'll dive deep into Paul's fiery criticism of Johnson's $1.5 trillion spending bill, his alleged lack of principles and the growing discontent among the rank-and-file Republicans. We'll examine the implications of this high-stakes battle for the soul of the GOP and what it means for the American people. And you don't want to miss my final thought, where I will reveal the real reason behind this shocking turn of events and what it portends for our nation. Now, in these uncertain times, our energy bills are skyrocketing, just like the temperatures in the Mojave Desert, and just as the GOP is grappling with leadership crises. Millions of Americans are struggling to keep the lights on, but there is hope on the horizon. Imagine a device that could slash your power bills and fight back against the greedy utility companies. Just like we need Republicans to stand up for their conservative values, that's where this incredible gadget comes in, plugging into your wall outlet that optimizes your home's energy use, saving you money and sticking it to the power-hungry elite. Don't let the left control your thermostat or your government. Take control with this risk-free trial and keep more of your hard-earned cash where it belongs, in your pocket. Visit don'twastepower.com. You'll find the link down in the description. Now, in a stunning development that has rocked the Republican Party to its core, Senator Rand Paul launched a blistering attack on House Speaker Mike Johnson, accusing him of abandoning conservative principles and governing like a Democrat. Paul's scathing remarks, delivered in an explosive interview with Maria Bartiromo, have exposed deep divisions within the GOP and raised serious doubts about Johnson's ability to lead the party forward. And at the heart of Paul's criticism is Johnson's willingness to support a staggering $1.5 trillion spending bill, a move that has infuriated fiscal conservatives and sparked a revolt among rank-and-file Republicans. Quote, "As I see it now, I'm not sure there's a difference between Mike Johnson being in charge and the Democrats." That's what he declared. His words dripping with frustration and disbelief. Let's watch.
I want to also ask you about what you heard from the speaker regarding FISA. Can we trust government? Can we trust government to use FISA appropriately and legally?
Absolutely not. Americans shouldn't be spied on by their own government. The Fourth Amendment was put in by our founding fathers to protect us. FISA doesn't obey the Fourth Amendment. And so Speaker Johnson was incredibly wrong. He broke the tie. He voted with the Democrats. Here we have the leader of the Republicans in the House votes with the Democrats against a warrant requirement. We also have Speaker Johnson voting for the spending package, once again, with a majority of the Democrats. As I see it now, I'm not sure there's a difference between Mike Johnson being in charge and the Democrats being in charge. The deficit this year will be $1.5 to $2 trillion, and that's Mike Johnson's bill. He put it forward. He supported it with a minority of Republicans, with a majority of Democrats. This is not using the power of the purse. This is abdicating the power of the purse.
Now, Paul's accusation strikes at the very core of the Republican Party's identity, suggesting that Johnson has betrayed the values that propelled him to the speakership. For a party that's long prided itself on fiscal responsibility and limited government, the idea that its leader would embrace such reckless spending is nothing short of a betrayal. But Paul's criticism did not stop there. He also took aim at Johnson's failure to use the power of the purse to rein in the Democrats' spending demands. Quote, "This is not using the power of the purse. This is abdicating the power of the purse." That's what he charged, of course, his voice rising with indignation. Now, the power of the purse enshrined in the Constitution is one of the most potent tools at the disposal of the House of Representatives. By controlling the nation's purse strings, the House has the ability to shape the direction of government spending and prioritize the issues that matter most to the American people. Yet, under Johnson's leadership, that power has been squandered, with the Speaker seemingly more interested in appeasing the Democrats than in fighting for conservative values. As Paul puts it, the Democrats got everything they want in the spending, and all the hawks got what they want too. This is a problem on the Republican side. Paul's frustration is palpable, and it's a sentiment that is shared by many conservatives across the country. They see in Johnson a leader who has lost his way, who has abandoned the principles that got him elected in the first place. It's a betrayal that cuts deep and raises serious questions about the future of the Republican Party. If its leaders are willing to govern like Democrats, acting as rhinos, if they're willing to embrace runaway spending and big government, then what is the point of having a Republican majority in the first place? But the implications of Johnson's actions go beyond just the Republican Party. They have real-world consequences for the American people, who are already struggling under the weight of crushing inflation and rising prices. By embracing reckless spending, Johnson is only adding fuel to the fire, making it harder for families to make ends meet and businesses stay afloat. It's a betrayal not just of conservative principles, but of the very people that he was elected to serve. As Paul sees it, the solution is clear. Republicans need to recommit themselves to the values that have always defined their party: limited government, fiscal responsibility, and a focus on the needs of the American people. They need to use the power of the purse to rein in the Democrats' spending and demands and put the brakes on runaway government growth. But more than that, they need leaders who are willing to stand up for those values, even in the face of opposition from the Democrats and the media. They need leaders like Rand Paul, who are unafraid to speak truth to power and hold their own party accountable when it strays from its principles. Now, the stakes couldn't be higher. The very future of our Republican Party hangs in the balance, and with it, the future of our entire nation. Will we continue down the path of reckless spending and big government, or will we recommit ourselves to the values that have always made America great? That's the question that every Republican must answer in the wake of Rand Paul's interview. And it's a question that will determine the course of our country for generations to come. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. It's time for my final thought. The explosive revelations from Rand Paul's interview should serve as a wake-up call for every American who believes in the principles of limited government and fiscal responsibility. What we are witnessing is nothing less than a battle for the soul of the Republican Party, a fight that will determine the future of our nation for generations to come. Will we continue on the path of reckless spending and big government, or will we recommit ourselves to the values that have always made this nation great? The choice is yours, but one thing is clear. We cannot afford to sit on the sidelines any longer. We need leaders like Rand Paul who are willing to stand up and fight for what's right, even when it means taking on their own party. Because in the end, this is not about Republicans or Democrats. It's about the American people and the future we want for our children and our grandchildren. Next up, Valerie Bertinelli criticizing the Food Network for prioritizing competition over education following her departure from the Kids Baking Championship. Will the programming shift back? Angie has the details.
Valerie Bertinelli, previous host of Kids Baking Championship, made a stirring criticism of Food Network, claiming the network is prioritizing competition series over educational cooking shows. Her disappointments were triggered by her dismissal from the show, which led to an outpouring of support from fans. Bertinelli criticizes the network's shift in focusing from nurturing viewers' kitchen skills to feeding viewers with competitive spectacles. The direction of the network's programming has sparked a discontent among viewers and culinary professionals alike. Will this critique prompt a return to the programming that made Food Network a cherished institution? Don't miss Gary's new ebook, The Silent Coup, link in the bio. Coming up, we explore America's growing retirement crisis as inflation pushes needed savings to $1.46 million, far beyond the average. Details next.
Brace yourselves for a startling revelation that will shake the very foundation of the American dream. In this groundbreaking report, we peel back the layers of a looming retirement crisis that threatens to shatter the hopes and aspirations of millions. As inflation soars to unprecedented heights, the once attainable goal of a comfortable retirement has become an elusive mirage, with the average savings account falling a staggering $1.37 million short of the new $1.46 million benchmark. So prepare to have your beliefs challenged as we expose the harsh realities of a post-pandemic economic landscape where financial pressures mount and the golden years of retirement seem increasingly out of reach. But don't despair just yet. And this special report will not only uncover the depth of the crisis, but also reveal the critical steps you can take to secure your financial future. So don't miss my final thought, where I will share the ultimate key to navigating these turbulent times and reclaiming your retirement dreams. Now, just like how a sturdy retirement plan is essential for a golden future, a reliable precious metals investment can be the bedrock of your financial security. Noble Gold Investments understands the challenges that you face in today's economic landscape. Their team of experts is dedicated to helping you navigate the world of precious metals with ease and confidence. With countless satisfied customers praising their honest guidance and no-pressure approach, Noble Gold Investments has earned an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and now they're offering one of these beautiful free quarter-ounce British gold standard coins for qualified accounts. Don't let inflation erode your retirement dreams. Secure your future with Noble Gold investments. As you know, gold is skyrocketing right now, far past $2,000 an ounce. So visit nextnewsgold.com or call the number 877-646-5347. Ask him what all the fuss is about with gold. Now, let's get back into our story where in a world where the American dream once promised a golden retirement, a dark cloud of uncertainty now looms over the horizon. As millions of Americans stand on the brink of their golden years, they find themselves grappling with a harsh reality. The once attainable goal of a comfortable retirement is slipping further out of reach with each passing day. Now, the numbers paint a grim picture. In 2020, a comfortable retirement was estimated to require $951,000 in savings. Fast forward to today, and that figure has skyrocketed by an astonishing 53% to a daunting $1.46 million. This staggering increase is not merely a result of changing expectations, it's a direct reflection of the relentless inflation and economic pressures that have become the hallmarks of our post-pandemic world. Watch.
Most Americans believe they will need to acquire more than $1 million to retire comfortably.
But many, including a significant number of older people, are far from reaching that savings goal. A new survey from financial services firm Credit Karma shows 27% of all Americans have no retirement savings, including 401ks and Roth IRAs. And 27% of these respondents are aged 59 and older.
CBS News Money Watch Associate Managing Editor Amy Peakey joins us now. Amy, these are some pretty big statistics that Elaine just rattled off there. Now, you wrote an article for CBSNews.com exploring older Americans' troubling lack of retirement savings and more. So in addition to these statistics, Credit Karma also found about 1 in 5 respondents 59 and older don't even have retirement accounts. That's the highest share of any generation. Why are so many older Americans not prepared financially?
Yeah, it might seem a little bit of a surprise given that, boomers started working at a time when pensions were a lot more common than today. And not many workers today have pensions. But it comes down to the fact that, throughout the generations, even boomers, a lot of people just don't have access to retirement plans. They don't work for a company that has a 401k or a pension. And so it's been on them to save. And that makes it a lot harder to put away money if your employer isn't offering a plan like that. And I also want to point out that, the boomer generation has a lot of older women who maybe didn't work full time, work part time, or they were more likely to stay at home and raise a family than younger generations. And we know for a fact that older women are less prepared for retirement than older men for that reason. So kind of all those things boil down to the fact that, yes, there are a lot of older Americans heading into retirement without any of their own retirement savings.
And Amy, this survey comes as lawmakers grapple with the health of Social Security. It is on track to be depleted in just 10 years. So how exactly would that hurt retirees?
Yeah, that's a great question. The truth of the matter is Social Security will still be there, but everybody on Social Security is looking at a cut to their benefits. And right now, the current benefits will be cut to about 77 cents on the dollar. So, that's especially going to hurt those retirees who are entering retirement or in retirement without any of their own savings, because it means they're going to take a more than 20% shave to their benefits. And we know that already at current benefit levels, it's hard to make ends meet if you're only getting Social Security. And experts say, if this happens, we're probably going to see an increase in poverty among older Americans. So it could be devastating for a lot of retirees.
Wow. That was CBS News, folks. Okay? It's not just Franchi running his mouth trying to scare everybody to buy gold. All right? This is serious, serious, serious news. Now, that video underscores the severity of the retirement crisis Americans are facing. It's a reminder that the path to financial security in one's golden years is fraught with obstacles and challenges that previous generations never had to contend with. So as we go deeper into this financial conundrum, the disparity between retirement aspirations and reality become even more apparent. The average retirement account today holds a mere $88,400. It's a far cry from the $1.46 million now deemed necessary for a comfortable retirement. Now, this yawning gap of 1.37 million is a sobering testament to the magnitude of the problem at hand. Now, the implications of the retirement crisis extend far beyond individual financial struggles because it speaks about the broader economic challenges plaguing our society. Rampant inflation, coupled with the looming specter of depleted Social Security funds. It's created a perfect storm that threatens to upend the very fabric of the American dream. The cost of living, once a manageable aspect of daily life, has now become an insurmountable hurdle for many. The prices of essential goods and services continue to rise, eroding the purchasing power of hard-earned dollars and rendering retirement savings increasingly inadequate. So in the face of these mounting pressures, the notion of leveraging one's benefits to shoulder more of the financial burden seems like a bleak and terrifying prospect. Yet, it is a reality that millions of Americans must confront head-on as they navigate the treacherous waters of an uncertain economic future. Now, the retirement crisis is not merely a financial issue. It's a deeply personal one that strikes at the heart of the American psyche. For generations, the promise of a comfortable retirement has been a fundamental aspect of the American dream, a reward for a lifetime of hard work and dedication. But now, as that dream fades into the distance, many are left wondering what went wrong and how can they salvage their golden years. Now, the urgency of the situation can't be overstated. The retirement crisis is not a problem that can be kicked down the road or addressed with half measures. It requires a concerted effort from individuals, policymakers, and financial institutions alike to find meaningful solutions that can help bridge the widening gap between retirement aspirations and reality. Now, for individuals, the path forward begins with a commitment to financial literacy and proactive planning. It's essential to seek out expert guidance, develop a comprehensive retirement strategy, and make informed decisions about how to allocate resources and invest for the future. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. It's time for my final thought. The retirement crisis we face today is a reminder of the fragility of the American dream. It's a call for action, a plea for us to confront the harsh realities of our economic landscape head-on and take decisive steps to secure our financial futures. As we navigate these times, it's essential to remember that hope is not lost. By arming ourselves with knowledge, seeking out expert guidance, and making informed decisions about your financial well-being, well, we can begin to bridge the gap between our retirement aspirations and the realities we face. The path ahead may be uncertain, but one thing is clear. The time for action is now. We must summon the courage to face our financial challenges, champion prudent money management, and fight tirelessly to preserve the American dream for ourselves and for generations to come. Only then can we truly secure a golden retirement. Now, as we stand at this critical juncture, facing a retirement crisis that threatens the American dream, it's clear that action and insight are our most powerful tools. With this urgency in mind, we turn now to Dr. Bruce Fong, a leader in addressing modern health challenges, to explore how maintaining robust health, including optimal testosterone levels, can be a vital part of securing a stable and fulfilling future. So let's dive in to how his innovative solutions like Man's Edge can support not just our health, but our overall longevity and quality of life in these pivotal times. Welcome, everyone. I'm thrilled to introduce Dr. Bruce Fong, the esteemed medical director of Neutronics Labs and the Sierra Integrative Medical Center. Today, he will be discussing the critical issue of declining testosterone levels in men across the globe. We'll delve into the significant impacts this has on health and explore a groundbreaking natural solution, Man's Edge, available at getmansedgenow.com. Dr. Fong, welcome to the program.
Hey, thank you again for having me on. I just really appreciate the opportunity to really spread the news about an exciting new product we have at Neutronics Labs. But as a physician, I always love to educate people because, you know what, it's always a team effort. It's you guys got to tell us what's going on, and then we got to come up with a plan that really works for you. So today we want to talk a little bit about testosterone.
Well, I personally want to talk about it because now I'm seeing ads for it everywhere because I'm 46. I'm going to be 47 this year. As soon as I turned 40, I just started seeing all these like, oh, you're going to have problems here, here, and here. And now 7 years almost into it, and I'm working out in the gym 3 days a week. I've lost almost 80 pounds. I have muscles where I never realized I had muscles before. So I'm excited to learn realistically about how this product works and how it can personally benefit me in my workout regimen. So can you first, let's get into the topic itself about testosterone decline and just how widespread is it worldwide?
Unfortunately, every one of us as men has it. I mean, there's studies that actually even suggest that in the last 50 years, we've maybe come through what we call a generational change, that everybody seems to be lower across the board on their testosterone, meaning men primarily who are being studied. And we know that at least by the age of 40, if not possibly sooner, we start to lose maybe 1 to 2% of our testosterone production and utilization every year as we go forward, which means, we could be in trouble. I mean, a lot of guys start experiencing things like ED when they hit their 40s. So again, there's evidence there. I know for a fact that, everything from my mid 30s into my early 40s, when I noticed that when I was working out, I wasn't able to put on the muscle as quickly as I used to. My drive to work out went way down for a while. So again, there are a lot of things that are going on here. And then not only societally, I hope I don't make bad waves with this, but yeah, guys, our masculinity has been dumbed down. I'm sorry.
No, it's true. I mean,
I just want to make that statement, guys. We need to, it used to be like grow a pair and go take care of stuff. Now it's kind of like, all right, so should I be a little sensitive about this and that? And I'm making that statement for a reason.
Well, Dr. Fong, let's be honest. I turn on the television and all I see are these ads, and these men are just emasculated and they're just stupid, goofy. And this has been a trend in media for 20, 30 years now, at least, minimum, probably sooner than that. So, there's a real problem. And I mean, when you think about how that works in the media, right? So you have this subliminal programming that's pushing this message through the media and into people's homes, but how does it actually have a biological impact? I mean, over time? Like, what are the primary factors contributing to this issue?
So, I mean, you got that. I mean, there's a sort of if you will, sort of a psyche that's telling you, hey, you don't have to be so masculine, or I'm being told I'm a barbarian or something or whatever. The point is, traditionally, men being, if you want to go back to the traditional values, the man being the head of the family or whatever, it's our job to take charge. It's our job to actually, make that that decision and be literally confident in the ability to do it. Honestly, we're in a really dangerous world these days, and I pray that the leadership can play a better role. And sometimes I feel that has a lot to do with possibly this lack of testosterone, or really a lack of being to take charge. And
well, there's an attack on manhood overall.
Oh, yeah,
It's toxic masculinity if you assert some level of alpha prowess in any situation, and then if you try to explain what's happening, you're mansplaining. Like, there's all this terminology that's destroying what manhood really is, and I think that's it's a shame.
Yeah.
But it really is all on how you ingest your information, because we can believe what they say, or we can live the reality of what God has planned for us all.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about this, the impact of environmental toxins. Okay, first we were talking about, media impact and societal impact, but what about environmental elements on hormonal health?
So I'm the medical director of the Sierra Integrative Medical Center, and we as an integrative internist is what I call myself. We look for underlying causes of a lot of other diseases that sometimes you're just plain old a quick fix trip to the pharmacy isn't going to fix. So we're talking about toxins and things that we're exposed to every day. Sometimes those things don't impact us right away. And in fact, they tend to, on the most part, be things that build up over time till we hit a critical mass, and all of a sudden some other problem starts to crop up. In a lot of ways in our environment today, what we see in regards to being emasculated is that we see a lot of things like toxic waste products from plastics, and honestly, hormonal additions to our food chain. I mean, they inject our livestock animals with hormones, and sometimes it gets into dairy products. Again, we have all the things about GMOs, and I'm not necessarily saying all these, the GMOs necessarily bad, but I'm going to say for sure that there are things that are impacting us with effects that we don't know about right away. And these effects, as they stretch down the line, we're going to see impacts on us that we were not expecting, and we certainly wish we had seen them coming so we could have headed them off earlier.
Well, if you take a look at, like you said, some of the food, the dairy, the meats that we ingest, like you go to the grocery store, and you got options. Okay, you can get the non-GMO corn, or you can get the GMO corn, or you can get the hormone-free meat or the hormone-free milk and no RSBs, whatever. Like there's organic and versus non-organic, and like there's so many different options. Obviously, they're doing something, and of course, there's thousands of chemicals that are restricted from use in Europe, but we have them here. And you have California, they also have their own hardcore implementation of food regulations that, sometimes I think it goes a little bit too far, but listen, I'm not a doctor, so that's why we're talking to you. So why is maintaining healthy testosterone levels crucial for men's just overall well-being?
Well, let me make one more statement on that last part.
Go ahead.
Quick. So as a physician, I'm an internal medicine specialist, but if I wanted to, I could have subspecialized in various fields like cardiology and pulmonology. But more importantly, I want to bring up endocrinology. Endocrinology is probably one of the most difficult facets in medicine, because for every action, there's definitely an equal and opposite reaction. A lot of viewers out there may, if you've ever studied biochemistry and things like that, you may have remembered something which I hope I don't bring trauma up. During your final exams, you had to remember something called a Krebs cycle. It's how we produce energy in the body. But the point and there's this huge multi-step thing that probably people don't want to remember anymore. I know a lot of doctors try to forget it, but anyway, the bottom line is that where you have different steps, we know that tangentially, if this affects this step, it pushes the reaction in this direction, or if it affects it in this way, it goes that direction, and usually not just 2 or 3 directions. It could be a lot of different things. So in our production and utilization of testosterone, I know that there's a lot of factors that we just talked about, environmental toxins and chemicals and hormones, that are playing a role in interfering with our ability to produce. Besides age-based reduction, there's an external factor that actually is reducing our production of testosterone. That is my firm belief. And basically, all the other stuff is actually interfering with our ability to utilize what we make. So again, these are all things that are very critical in understanding why it's really important for us to keep those levels higher, because honestly, in the end, there's definitely a lot of studies that can show you where we studied the female hormone side, and it showed that when ladies hit menopause, meaning critically their estrogen went down to a certain level, they actually started experiencing the same problems that males do in regards to risk to cardiovascular disease, risk to insulin resistance leading towards diabetes and things like that. So again, when our primary hormone, our sex hormone, meaning ladies, it's estrogen, guys, it's testosterone, in case you didn't know that, we do see a correlation with a risk of increasing an increasing risk of having various maladies, including cardiovascular disease in particular, that we do see. And with the decreasing muscle mass or tone, because we use testosterone to maintain that, we see a decrease of lean body mass, which could lead to an increase of, say, fat body mass, and that leads to the possibility of increased risk for insulin resistance, which can lead to diabetes. So things like this are very important to understand. Wow. This is why it's actually important about maintaining your testosterone level, not just because you want to be, because I just saw the guy on our from our website about the big bodybuilder guy. But again, I mean, I would like to look like that too if I had the chance to work out more. But thanks for rubbing that in. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, the bottom line is that I would love to look like that too. And then I think I can, if I had the time to do it, I would do it. But it's really important. It's not just because you want to look great for yourself or the others around you, but it's really about maintaining that strong body so that we can continue in that role that we talked about earlier, being able to lead, being able to be confident in what we do, and really to keep ourselves, as well as we can be, to reduce our risk factors for other diseases.
Let's talk about the product itself now, Man's Edge. So what makes it stand out from other testosterone boosters? I know I've tried different products in the past. I'm anxious to try this one. What makes it stand out?
So number one, we take three of the most effective natural products we know of. The most effective being the fenugreek. Then of course there's tribulus, and there's also tonkarai, also known as long jack. And we combine those in this product along with our signature, which is the deer antler velvet, which the primary derivative of that is insulin-like growth factor 1, which is, by the way, the main motivator of all the beneficial stuff you see with growth hormone. And so that was our original product, and it was all delivered in a liposomal delivery system, meaning a fat-based delivery system. Because if you just took this stuff as pills, and you took this stuff as something else you simply swallowed into the stomach, guess what? Most of it, if not all of it, would get destroyed before you could really absorb anything substantial. So by our delivery system with all of the products, it's in this particular case, it's a liquid that we drop through this fat-based delivery system under our tongue. So most people out there are probably familiar with folks who have chest pains and things like that. They take nitroglycerin, but you don't swallow the nitroglycerin tablet. You stick it and you let it dissolve into your tongue, because that nitroglycerin, which causes the blood vessels to dilate and open up so you can reduce the chest pain, has to get in the bloodstream really rapidly. And I think the sublingual or under the tongue route is clearly proven to be highly effective. It's much underutilized. And so with using a liposomal delivery system, we are actually guaranteeing a high 90th percentile delivery of all these compounds we just talked about, the fenugreek, the long jack, and the tribulus, the IGF-1. And now, with the newer improved product, we're putting L-arginine and L-citrulline in there, which is going to increase your nitric oxide, which is going to increase your blood flow, which also helps to move these things around, and also to help you to in this case, like the gentleman who's a bodybuilder there, it's going to help increase the flow into the muscles, which allows the muscles to develop better, to be able to maintain better, really just increase blood flow throughout the body. I can tell you that.
How do all these ingredients synergize together? Because obviously taken individually, they only have an effect, but when they come together in one single product, how does it work to boost the testosterone?
So every single one of those ingredients we just talked about, the tonkarai in particular, have been shown to increase the production of testosterone throughout the body. So working synergistically, there is a high impetus to increase your natural production of testosterone. On top of that, all the ingredients also have a specific function towards the utilization of the actual testosterone at the receptor sites. And again, tonkarai being the fenugreek being the one that has been most recently studied, it shows an increased effect of that testosterone to those tissues for what we're looking for in all across the board. So again, the combination of these three highly effective ingredients that all bolster production of testosterone, and in particular, some of them work more towards the utilization of that said testosterone at the receptor site, and then being able to, most importantly, deliver them to the bloodstream where they can reach the target tissues, is actually the critical part about how this product's put together. And now adding the L-citrulline, L-arginine, increasing the blood flow, we're actually furthering that effect. Also, as a personal side, increasing my nitric oxide in me has helped me to reduce my blood pressure, for instance, and
Really?
I've pretty much almost gotten off of my actual meds, which was really nice. Again, this is something, again, but by the way, nobody do that unless you talk to your doctor. I want to make sure I plug that. I'm happy to talk to you too if you ever want to reach out to me. But the point is that this product in and of itself, I'm going to say, is one of the most effective products that is out there. And I would tell you that with all the research and all the combination of the ingredients, but in particular, that delivery system with the liposomal system has actually made it really, it's really using a video game term, because I have so many kids, it's a level up. It's a major level up in how you actually deliver the stuff. And it's more effective because the stuff is actually getting to your tissues. Mm-hmm. Again, like I said, a lot of the other ingredients, you're simply taking as pills or liquids that you swallow. The stomach acid destroys them, or the enzymes in the intestines would destroy them. You never get a chance to really absorb them very well. And the vast majority of them are really wiped out. And in particular, the growth factor that I said was in there, the IGF-1, the deer antler velvet, which that's our signature product, which I'm going to talk about in a second here. But we have some of that in this. And those growth factors are extremely fragile when it comes to stomach acid and digestive enzymes. They're just not going to get in there unless you want to play Russian roulette and take a whole bunch of it and hope some of it makes through. So again, these are the critical reasons why I think that the Man's Edge product from Nutronics Labs is probably the pinnacle of a nutritional support, or if you want, nutritional supplement support for the testosterone and really the maintaining of health, especially in males.
Now, can you tell us about some of the success stories from users of Man's Edge?
I can tell you that myself, when I was actually really run down, I've had a really, without getting into my own personal issues, but I've had a really rough couple of years here. I realized I had to start working out to make myself actually feel better again. And as I was saying to you earlier, I had zero motivation to do so. And when I started utilizing this product, it not only allowed me to get motivated to do this, but along with the Nutronics IGF-1 Plus, which I would combine this with, I actually saw significant gains in my ability to put on muscle, maintain muscle, and more importantly, to kind of burn off all the fat that was not necessarily from me overeating, but was from my stress. Things like cortisol sometimes can produce a lot of fat and things like that. And I was able to actually burn a lot of that off. And I felt a lot better. And so, again, this product not only helped me to achieve my physical workout goals, for instance, but it actually helped with something inside. It changed my mindset because I saw my gains faster. I saw that things were working better. But also, I want to say there's just something about it that made me feel more confident inside. There was something about it that changed my perspective on things, and it allowed me to keep moving forward.
That's amazing. That is really amazing. Well, I'm anxious to give it a shot because, working out in the gym, I take a lot of supplements. Primarily, I take DHEA. I also take just protein supplements, primarily glutathione as well, antioxidant. I have tried pill form of the style of a product like this. Took it for a long time. It had a lot of the ingredients that you mentioned, but not the deer antler velvet, which I think is really game changing. Because once I learned, we're gonna have Dr. Fong on again, I said, okay, well, let's take a look at these products. Let's do some investigative research on what this deer antler velvet really is, and how it can help you. So it's definitely something I want to try into or add into my regimen just to see what kind of additional gains that I can get. Because I'm doing a lot of heavy weight training 3 days a week. I'm seeing really good results, but I always want to get another edge. So I think that this is something that would really help me, and I think a lot of our viewers out there who are going through the same thing I am.
Yeah, man, that's one of the reasons it was named Man's Edge. It was to give you that edge to be able to get ahead, whether it was for working out or getting your confidence built. But let me take a couple of seconds. I want to talk about just what you said. Our original signature product, known as the IGF-1 Plus, it's actually a deer antler velvet extract. And again, without getting super deep in the details, Chinese medicine has known that deer antler has been a foundational remedy for all times. It helps with all kinds of things. But most importantly, as we came into researching it in the 20th century, we realized it was because deer antler was, again, deer lose their antlers every year and they grow a brand new rack in 110 days. it was the inside of the growing deer antler that was a critical part, meaning that as we researched it, we discovered that it had the same growth factors that we have in our body when we have the presence of human growth hormone.
No kidding.
So by that token, when we take this, and again, this is humanely gotten. The deer are tranquilized. The antlers are removed right in the middle of their growth cycle, and the deer are all organically fed. They're all from New Zealand and stuff like that. But the bottom line is the inside of the antler is then vacuumed out, cold pressed like you do olive oil. And what you get is this kind of this dark, sticky, brownish liquid. And then that's immediately mixed in with the liposomal delivery system. And there's your product right there. And again, it has the insulin-like growth factor 1, which is the main motivator of growth hormone. With it and some of these other growth factors, you're going to actually, if we're in subject we're talking about, you're going to probably definitely see your ability to put on muscle a lot faster. You're actually helping to burn fat. You're actually resetting a lot of the hormonal base levels in the body, meaning you're resetting your foundation. I know for a fact that the IGF-1 itself increases secretion of luteinizing hormone, which can produce testosterone and estrogen in the respective genders. And the bottom line is that this product mixed with 13 or 14 other growth factors is a complete growth matrix, including things that prevent unnecessary or unwanted cell growth from developing. So it's a great product. It's been around several decades. It's been, for more than 3 decades, and it's got a really proven track record, an extremely proven safety record. There's never been any ill effects from taking it. That there were anything of major consequence of all. And again, it's something that we really stand by, and that's the base product that everything else from Electronics Labs grows from. And
you guys have quite a suite of products on your website.
Yeah. So, and again, I want to mention out there that a lot of this was originally because of our founder, Rick Lentini's relative who had ALS at the time. He was looking for something that would give his relative a better quality of life before the relative passed away. The relative was actually given days to live, and they started the product. And they not only lived for quite a bit longer, like several months worth of time longer, but they had a very good quality of life while they did it. So that's where the product started. And also, I need to reach out this way. Our founder, of course, is a veteran. The company is run by veterans, and we are here for all the veterans, and in particular. So a lot of these products are here for us to help maintain ourselves as strong as we were. So again, that's a message from that it's from us to you guys as well. But in particular, we want this for everybody, because we all need to take our own steps to make sure that we maintain ourselves as best as we can. Because honestly, there's nothing that's going to stop aging, but we certainly can help ourselves along. The oldest adage in the book is an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Yeah.
Or there's an Asian version of that, it's Confucianism, which is no success can compensate for the premature failure of our bodies. So with these compounds that we have here, the IGF-1 plus, the Man's Edge that we're talking about today, and there's a whole slew of other ones that we can talk about some other time, but they are all there to help each and every one of us be the best that we can be, and to turn around and fight off these things that really might not be necessary in our bodies. We can kind of prevent a lot of the diseases if we can keep ourselves to our so we say peak state if we can.
Let's talk about our viewers specifically watching right now. How can they benefit from the current promotions, and where can they purchase Man's Edge specifically?
Okay, so you have it right there on the screen there. It says so it's Get Man's Edge Now, all without any abbreviations or dashes. So getmansedgenow.com. And I think there's sorry, I'm looking at my note here. There's a special code. It's called Next News, which is of course your show, and it's just NEXTNEWS, and in the special code area that you would enter when you're on the website, and you would not only would get 50% off by doing that and signing up for what's called auto ship, meaning that the company will send you
50% off.
Yes,
that's
just by signing for auto ship. Yeah. So we want everybody to be able to get on board this stuff. And I think it's going to really make a huge impact in changing a lot of our lives. And so we're that confident that you're going to see that difference as well. And also for a limited time now, if you buy any IGF-1 product, when you join AutoShip, you will get any IGF-1 product in addition to this for free. So we want to make sure that gets out there. I'm sorry, that part I have to look at a note because we change our promotions occasionally. So I want to make sure I stated correctly. So again, when you sign up for AutoShip, going to getmansedge.com, getmansedgenow.com, and you use the promotion code NEXTNEWS and you sign up for AutoShip, you get 50% off. But in addition to that, for your viewers and that are out there, we will also include any additional IGF-1 product for free.
Wow. Okay.
So that's how strongly we feel about it. We want you,
folks, use code NEXTNEWS. Code NEXTNEWS when you go there to get the product.
Exactly.
And then email me. I want to hear how this product has affected you specifically. And you can find my email. You can simply go in the description of this video. You sign up for our email list and you'll find how to email me. So when you go ahead and get this product, send me your testimonials. I will forward them on to Dr. Fong. I'm sure once you buy the product, you'll be able to get in touch with Dr. Fong as well. So you could tell him your personal testimonials. And I'd love to do a follow-up with you, Dr. Fong. And we could read some of those testimonials from some of our viewers.
That'd be amazing. And one more thing, I was asked also in my notes to remember to kind of mention, we do have an auto ship program. Actually, a wholesale program that if we have physicians and other practitioners out there that would like to sell the product through their actual practices, we certainly would make the wholesale program available to you so that it becomes a win-win for all sides.
All right, Dr. Fong. I hope that someday I'll be able to look like this guy on our screen here.
Yeah, me too.
All right, Dr. Fong, thank you so much for illuminating this urgent issue and introducing Man's Edge as a viable solution. Remember, maintaining optimal testosterone levels is key to a vigorous and fulfilling life, so explore what Man's Edge can do for you. Take a step towards enhanced vitality and health. Order your product now. GetMan'sEdgeNow.com. Use the promo code NEXTNEWS. And make sure you get their exclusive promotion. 50% off on auto ship is pretty significant. So, Dr. Fong, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my friend. And God bless you and all your viewers, and stay strong.
All right, you too. All right, folks, stay strong, stay healthy, and I hope to read your testimonials because I'm looking forward to getting this product personally, adapting it into my regimen of my workout every day. So I want to hear yours. So make sure that you do sign up for our email newsletter. You'll be able to communicate with me personally and directly. So when you do, let's start that exchange of communication. And of course, if you also want to leave a comment below on your personal experience, that's another great place where we can continue this conversation. We'll see you at the next report for the Next News Network. I'm Gary Franchi. That wraps up our discussion with Dr. Fong, but the conversation doesn't end here. It's time to make your voice heard in the comments section. Welcome back to the comments section where we dive into your insights and reaction. Tonight's focus is on the turbulence surrounding Biden's 2024 run, a story that's got a lot of you talking. So let's see what we had to say. First up, we have Joanne says, sure, the DNC will twist arms to get him on the ballot. Does not deserve to be terrible record. Couldn't agree more, Joan. It's pretty clear, isn't it? The Democrat machine has a long history of pulling strings behind the scenes, and Biden's record, well, it speaks for itself, and it's not a record of success. Americans see through these tactics, and they are tired of the manipulation. Next up, we have Toby. Keeping it simple, they know the law. Leave them off. Well, Toby, the law is the law. States have every right to set a stringent criteria for ballot access. If the criteria point to keeping Biden off the ballot, so be it. It's not just about following the law, it's about preserving the integrity of our elections. Moving on, we have Ogre Dad 55, who brings some flair. Poetic justice is such a grand bit of common sense in action. Come on, President Trump, go, 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 and the Lord be with you. Well said. There's something deeply satisfying about seeing the scales of justice balance themselves right in front of our eyes. As for Trump, his energy and commitment to America have clearly not waned. Many are eager to see him take the stage again with a force that only truth can propel. Now, Calvin Green 90 points out, if the Democrats had not weaponized the legal system against Trump, there would be room for negotiations, as is the Democrats' need to live with their whoopsie. Well, Calvin, the weaponization of the legal system by the left against Trump has been nothing short of scandalous. They set the stage for endless political warfare, and now they just might reap what they have sown. There's no going back from here. Finally, George says one candidate tried to get another candidate removed from the ballot, and they may end up removed himself. Call it karma, maybe, or God's justice. Well, George, that's a powerful note to end on. Karma, divine justice, whatever you call it, it's clear there's a tide turning. If Biden ends up off the ballot, it wouldn't just be ironic, it would be a telling moment about the state of the political play in America. Folks, your comments reflect a broad and deep frustration with the current political maneuvers and a yearning for a return to fairness and common sense in our governance. So keep those comments coming. They are the pulse of our nation. And maybe, just maybe, next time, your comment will make the cut. It's time for Looking at You on N3 Primetime. Tonight we turn our gaze to a concerning development in the courtroom concerning none other than former President Donald Trump. Trump's legal spokeswoman, Elena Haba, has sounded the alarm over what appears to be a significant oversight or perhaps a deliberate omission in the jury selection process in the ongoing case in New York. Now, according to Haba, the Judge Merchan, has expressly forbidden questions that could reveal potential jurors' political leanings, specifically whether they worked or supported the Biden campaign. Watch.
What's your thought? What's your over/under on the jury pool here? Because these juries are absolutely ratchet. Yeah, and I just don't have a lot of hope. And the reason why, so no legal expert here, but we've just been covering OJ's death. And there were all these jurors in OJ's death that have now come forward. They're very old, and they're saying, no, we knew he killed everyone.
But they like Al Sharpton or whoever it was.
Right, that's right. I mean, they're now admitting it. We just made sure he wouldn't go to jail because racism or something, right? Like because we just didn't care. We wanted to protect him and destroy this person's life, right? Protect this person and destroy this person's life. And if you're gonna go to trial in New York, I mean, what are the chances of that with Trump?
You know what happened to me. So, the truth is these jurors are human beings. They have biases. And what was troubling in this case is that while we're doing jury selection starting today, one of the things that the judge here, Judge Merchan, would not allow us to ask was whether or not they voted for a Republican or a Democrat, whether or not they voted for President Trump, whether or not they work for the Biden administration. There's people that when I was doing the jury selection in the Carroll case, we're working currently for the Biden campaign, and I didn't want those people sitting on a jury for President Trump. And but you have the right to ask those questions. Now, this judge has eliminated many of those questions. You're not allowed to ask who they voted for. You can ask what news they watch, but I watch CNN and I watch Fox because I like to know what my opposition's saying. So it doesn't tell you what the status is. Now, when you're sitting with a president and a current nominee for the GOP, and you can't ask how you vote, you're shot in the foot right there. And you're in New York, which is a predominantly blue state. So, that hindrance in itself is problematic just from the get-go.
I just want to really I know we're short of time, but I really want to pin this down. You're telling me that the judge would allow somebody who's actively working for Joe Biden's presidential campaign to be on this jury pool?
Well, that happened to me. I mean, of course. I had arguments with the judge about it and saying, I wanted this person out, and I got them off the jury pool, but it was tough. The judge said, well, if you, I will never forget it. If you'd have it your way, you'd have all Republicans. I said, well, I'm his lawyer, of course. I mean, that's my job as a lawyer is to make sure that I get the absolute best jury pool I'm going to get. And by the way, don't think that the DA team isn't going to do the exact same thing. They're going to try and get the best jury pool they can. And in New York, for them, it's going to be much easier.
Now you might wonder, why does this matter? Well, jurors, like all of us, carry their biases. In a trial as politically charged as those involving a former president, knowing where those biases lie is crucial for fair proceedings. Yet, Haba reports that she was prohibited from asking jurors if they voted for Trump or if they were affiliated with the Biden administration. Even more disturbing, individuals actively employed by the Biden campaign were initially considered for the jury pool. This isn't just about one man's legal battles, it's about the integrity of the judicial process. When political affiliations of jurors, especially those potentially antagonistic to the defendant, are shielded from scrutiny, it challenges the fairness of the trial. This kind of judicial conduct doesn't just potentially tilt the scales of justice, it throws them off the bench. So why should this matter to you? Because today it's a high-profile figure like Trump. Tomorrow it could be anyone deemed politically inconvenient. The precedent set here threatens every American's right to a free trial, which is the bedrock of our republic justice system. So stay vigilant, America. We will keep watching, and that's who we're looking at tonight. Tonight we've navigated through stories that aren't just headlines, but are reflections of the deeper currents shaping our nation, from the courtroom drama surrounding Donald Trump to the surprising political pivot of a former media figure. Each story peels back layers on the struggles facing America. We started with Trump's defiant stand in New York, a moment that's about more than just man, it's a litmus test for the justice system. Is it still blind, or peeking to see who's on trial? His fight underscores a fundamental question. Are we committed to fairness or just playing political favorites? Then we watched Brian Stelter trade network studios for school board meetings. Why does it matter? Because it shows the ongoing battle for influence over our nation's future, beginning with our children. And then we saw taxpayers clashing at an IRS office, a perfect snapshot of frustration and dysfunction. Not just about tax codes, it's about feeling heard and respected by the very institutions that are meant to serve us. As we close, don't forget our compelling interview with Dr. Bruce Fong, where he addressed how an innovative approach to men's health can be a cornerstone for living longer, stronger lives. It's more than health advice, it's an urgent call to action for personal vitality in challenging times. And Senator Rand Paul, his fiery critique reminds us that the battle within parties can be just as fierce and consequential as those between them. These stories are the threads of a larger narrative about power, trust, and democracy. As we sign off tonight, remember, these aren't just stories, they are our collective experience as Americans, shaping the fabric of our country. So as we wrap tonight's episode, a big thank you to Angie for those sharp news briefs, and a huge thank you to all of our viewers for tuning in and engaging with us in the live chat. Your insights and participation make all the difference. And tonight we talked about challenges and trials, from courtrooms to tax offices to the halls of Congress, reflecting the stress points in our society and governance. And these stories aren't just passing news, they are threads of the larger conversation about where America is heading. So as we close tonight, remember this. Our channel has been your beacon of truth for over a decade. That's right, a decade we have been here, standing firm against a tide of narratives meant to divide us. In the past year alone, despite tremendous obstacles and even facing the brink of shutdown, your steadfast support has kept us going. But that battle is far from over. The times ahead are crucial. With major elections on the horizon, it's not just about a political contest, it is a battle for the soul of our nation, and we are here to fight that battle, to keep bringing you the truth that others won't. But we can't do it alone. We need you more than ever to stand with us, to support us, whether it is through a donation, a prayer, or simply by sharing our content on your favorite social platform. Each action you take helps ensure our voice and your voice continues to resonate across this country. Help keep the flame of truth burning bright. Check the links below to see how you can support our mission. From all of us here, thank you for joining us tonight. Keep standing strong for America, and have a wonderful evening.